Welcome back to another shitty video. I took down my last one. It was titled, I Just Want to Play Video Games or something along those lines. But it got like 3 views. Didn't really matter, but I took it down because I just simply didn't like it. I didn't like how it turned out, and it sounded like incoherent babbling. But it wasn't taken down by YouTube or the government or some weird shit. I just didn't like how it turned out. But I'm tired of politics. I'm a little bored of it, and I want to talk about video games. Specifically, Team Fortress 2 again. I would consider it one of my favorite games, if not my favorite game. Team Fortress 2 is pretty important to me. I really like the game. But today's particular topic isn't, of course, going to be a positive one, because negativity is what gets me views. But I don't like competitive players. I don't like competitive mode, and I've never liked any competitive mode in any video game. I'm all about playing at a higher level and, everybody giving their all. Sure, I like that. That's okay. That's cool. But playing a game to the point where you're taking it seriously is when I don't have fun. And whenever that form of overly serious play starts affecting casual play, it's when I have a genuine issue with it. All right? So anybody who doesn't like comp fags, as the terminology goes, anybody who doesn't like comp fags, it's for one main reason. Well, they have it to where the balancing of the game is orientated around them. And, well, if you don't know the context of the game, it's a little hard to understand what that means. But in short, there's 9 different classes, each one kind of set in their own little category of being offense, defense, and support. Well, you have the scout for flanking, the soldier for your main damage output, most of the time, or a part of your main damage output, your pyro for your ambush and your kind of semi-support role in guarding an area, or certain teammates. You have your defensive class with a demo man, who's your other main damage output, your heavy for your main tank, and then you have the engineer for guarding and kind of area denial, crowd control type deal, mainly with the sentry gun, also with the ability to support his team with a dispenser that heals and gives ammo, and a teleporter that, of course, teleports teammates. Then you have support that consists mainly of your medic, your spy, and your sniper. Medic being your main source of healing, and also the offensive pushing, pretty much being the spearhead of any offensive push with his many different mediguns that can change how he plays the game. But most of the time, and for the sake of this video, we'll talk about the stock Ubercharge, which gives, I think it's 8 to 10 seconds of invincibility. Then you have your sniper for sniping, which I will cover sniper and why I think he needs some balance changes. And spy, who essentially acts as another flank class, but more for sabotaging the enemy team or causing major disruptions. So those are the classes, right? Each class has their own different set of weapons that varies and changes how you play them. And I mentioned the medic having different mediguns, that changes how he plays the game. Alright, so now getting on the comp fags and the things they do that makes people upsetty, and what will eventually, hopefully, make them regretty. Now, the game is currently being balanced towards comp fags, and Uncle Dane comes to mind in particular with his theory of trickle-down balance based off of Reagan economics of trickle-down economics, which makes no fucking sense, and that's not how that works. But essentially, Uncle Dane believes that if you balance a game on its highest level of play, everybody will be happy. Well, obviously that's not the case, because the majority of people are unhappy with the balance changes made towards the highest level of play. And of course, the common deflection for this argument is, oh, well, Valve actually is the problem. Valve is the one who caused Valve's problems. People aren't upset at the comp fags, they're upset at Valve because Valve doesn't know how to balance weapons. Well, yeah, that is true, but at the same time, they didn't have to balance the weapons, and they specifically balanced the weapons because comp fags were complaining about them. And I do mean comp fags and only comp fags. Sure, there were some casual players that would have been upset, but ultimately, things don't get balanced in TF2 unless comp fags complain about it, right? So let's go through a few weapons. Number one that a lot of people like to mention is the Sandman. Well, what did the Sandman used to do? Well, the Sandman is a wooden bat with a baseball for the scout, your main flank class. And what the Sandman used to do is that if you managed to hit a player in the head with the baseball, which on the secondary fire with the bat, you would throw or hit the baseball towards an enemy. But if you managed to hit an enemy in the head with the baseball, it would stun them for a few seconds. And then it also had a combo ability with another weapon called the, what's the name of it? The Cleaver, a lot of people refer to it as, but that is not the name for it. The Flying Guillotine. And it would essentially instantly kill somebody if you could combo somebody that is stunned by the Sandman and throw the guillotine at somebody, and it would essentially instantly kill them. But a lot of people complain about the stun mechanic with the Sandman, which is fair. Stun mechanics aren't fun. They're not fun to play against, and they're bullshit. They never won't be. And that'll be important later, because I'll mention that on the Pyro later. But, you see, the problem is that Valve took the word of comp fags to heart and not the majority of their player base, which is casual players. Now, comp fags, of course, complained about the Sandman. Stun mechanic is not fun. And they also did the same thing with a flying guillotine, so both weapons got nerfed. Both for different reasons, but of course the stun mechanic was why the Sandman got nerfed, and the guillotine was nerfed because CompFag said that the scout could just chuck the guillotine down a hallway and get free kills, but that's not how that works. You have to combo it for it to kill effectively. The guillotine is more annoying than anything unless somebody's already at pretty half to low health. But if they're at full health, the guillotine's not gonna fucking kill them, and it didn't back then. Now, you see, Valve, in their infinite wisdom, of course, at this time was trying to cater to comp fags because Overwatch just came out, and of course Overwatch is a very competitive game, which is why it's fucking dead. But, you see, Valve had completely removed the stun mechanic, and in place put a slowdown mechanic on the Sandman that is near useless and is extremely difficult to actually pull off. Because now, most of the time, whenever I throw a baseball at somebody with the Sandman, it doesn't even slow them down. It just does a few points of damage. So now the Sandman's completely fucking useless, and that you really have no point in doing it, because now you have less health when you use the Sandman, and its utility is completely fucking gone. And I think it operates on some weird kind of damage fall off kind of thing, where the closer you are to somebody, the less slowed down they are or something. And I think the farther away the shot is, the more they're going to be slowed down. I might be wrong about that, but half the time it doesn't even fucking slow anybody down. It just does a few points of damage. But with the guillotine, I still personally like the guillotine. I think the guillotine's perfectly viable. Now it's not as useful as it used to be, but it's still a good chunk of damage, and then you have that little bleed effect, which kind of acts like afterburn. So it's still a decent weapon, but it was still nerfed from what it used to be because comp fags complained about it. And the guillotine is pretty much one of the few examples of comp fags causing a weapon to be nerfed and that weapon still being somewhat viable. Now, let's go into another one, the base jumper. What's the base jumper? Well, it's a parachute for soldier and demo. What does the base jumper do? Well, it acts like a parachute. Whenever you blast jump into the air using your rocket or stickies or grenades or your fucking loose cannons, whenever you blast jump into the air, fall damage fucking sucks. And to be honest, fall damage is what primarily kills me when I'm rocket jumping. But the base jumper is essentially there to negate that, where you can, open up a parachute and you fall slower. Now, with the original base jumper, you could open and close it multiple times while in the air. And you see, with certain players, they got really good at using the base jumper to essentially stay in the air forever and dodge projectiles pretty easily. But hit scan was still effective, meaning that you could just shoot at them with a gun instead of shoot at them with a grenade launcher or rocket launcher. But that kind of went over CompFag's head. Now, you see, it might be storming in the background. I'm sorry. I don't have ever have any real time to record videos, so I just make do with what I can. But essentially, they had complained. Compact. There's two, or not two, but there's multiple different competitive modes in TF2. But we'll be talking about your main competitive mode with the short map pools, whitelist and shit, and then 6v6. Now the main competitive mode, they complained less about the base jumper than 6v6, but most competitive modes revolve around scout, and balancing in the mode revolves almost entirely around scout. Now, if scout isn't effective with certain weapons, they will actually just outright ban certain weapons to keep scout viable. Competitive balancing revolves entirely around scout. Almost entirely around scout, I will say. Scout and medic. We'll just put it at that. Scout and medic. Now, you see, in 6v6, which means 6 players versus 6 players, scout is extremely important, and most of the balancing decisions, I would say, done for competitive players revolves around 6v6. Now, the base jumper, since soldiers and demos could stay in the air for extremely prolonged periods of times and almost entirely dodge most of what comes at him, unless it's hit scan, that meant the scout, who uses a shotgun, could not effectively fight off or kill the soldier or demo. And, comp fags being comp fags, they completely had the weapon nerfed to the ground and into being completely and utterly useless. Now, with the base jumper, you can open it once and close it once, and then you have to touch the ground again for it to, be useful or used again. Now, after you close it in the air, you drop to the ground, and you're just a sitting target in the air now. So you have one option with the base jumper while you're in the air. You can leave it open and be a target in the air. Your fucking horizontal and vertical movements fucking shit. You can't move worth a fuck, and you're just a sitting duck in the air, and you're sniper bait. Or you can, close your parachute, drop to the ground, and take the fall damage anyways, completely negating the point of the weapon. Now, it's just one of them examples, and I'm not going to go through all the weapons they completely nerfed, but that was a few examples. Now, balancing of the game currently revolves around comp fags. Now, comp fags really enjoy stale gameplay. And let's go into an example of this. All right, well, the quick fix is a medigun for medic, right? It has a 40% increase to heal rate over the stock Uber or stock medigun, right? And its Uber charge essentially increases heal rate to 300% for about 8 to 10 seconds, and it negates all knockback, all push force, and all that. So the quick fix is more for healing your entire team rather than pocketing somebody or a few players. You use the quick fix. You can use the quick fix in an offensive scenario, that being you're healing multiple teammates so you can all push at once, and having a full team of healed teammates kind of is hard to fight against. But most people aren't coordinated enough to use a quick fix like that. But in competitive mode, they are. Now, you see, comp fags in their infinite wisdom, mainly in 6v6, of course, said, well, if they use the quick fix, it would force the enemy meta to use the quick fix too. It was make do it too, because they heal faster. Yeah, that's the fucking point of the weapon. But instead of, just using the weapon, or somehow thinking of a meta that you could use the weapon, or thinking of a counterplay to the weapon, comp fags just banned it outright. You're not allowed to use the quick fix. You're just not allowed. And that's how it goes for a lot of weapons. Weapons that aren't actively nerfed by Valve are just banned. Also, fun fact, even if the weapon is nerfed, it stays banned in competitive anyways. So, comp fags are like a whining baby. A whining little toddler in its little playpen. And it's this little playpen safe space that they have that they play with their little toys. But these toys are meticulously picked out by this child, right? And they like to, play with these toys so long that they tend to break or get old and scuffed up and nasty. And so when Valve introduces new toys for this little toddler to play with in its safe space, instead of the toddler being grateful that they got anything at all, this toddler takes the new toy, shits on it, and throws it out of their playpen. So now the toy is covered in fucking shit, and they're not using it. And they're still using their old, worn-out toys, and, it's just kind of shitty. It's like watching these let's say everybody in TF2 is just all toddlers. We're all little babies, all little brats. We're all little fucking pieces of shit, ultimately, at the end of the day. And we're all in this little daycare, and we got our handlers, our tard wranglers, and all that. We're all in fucking TF2. Let's say general population, which is all the kids outside of the safe space playpen. We're all playing with the toys and all that. They're all fucking broken and all that. And it's just, for some reason, the tard wranglers and the daycare employees, they want to cater to these little safe space playpen babies. And they give them the new toys. All the new toys go to these safe space toddlers. Safe space toddlers shit on the toys, throw them out for the rest of us to use. So now all we get is those shit covered toys. That's what playing TF2 is like nowadays. Aside from the cheaters and the bots and all that shit. And it gets even worse with the fact that these daycare employees have just let the game go to fucking shit after catering for these kids. So now instead of those daycare employees taking care of these kids exclusively, now they're just fucking not there at all. And honestly, I would like to have TF2 gameplay for this video, but TF2 lags to the point where I can't even record it reliably. I had to install no hats mod because TF2 lags to the point where I have to scrounge every single frame that I can just to even play the fucking game, let alone record it. So I'm trying to get that fixed up so I can actually record gameplay and put it online, whatever. But hopefully here in the future I can. Hopefully. Now, it's not fun to have a game cater to a select minority who doesn't even make over 10% of the community, and all balance changes being catered towards these people who don't even use the weapons that are balanced anymore, and they just keep them banned anyways. It's annoying. Now, for the last few minutes of this video, I'm going to be talking about Sniper and Pyro. I'm combining a few different videos that I want to make into one. That way I don't have to wait for the right time to actually record. But let's start with Sniper, alright? Let's go ahead and say what I don't like about Sniper. Sniper is too easy to fucking play, and he dominates casual servers, alright? That's just it. You can disagree with me all you want. That's fine. You can do that, but I will hold that opinion until I meet this sweet, sweet ground. The Sniper is just not fun to play against. He's too easy to use, too easy to utilize, and you can say, it takes skill to play Sniper, it takes skill to play Sniper, you have to aim with mouse and click on head, it takes skill, Once you learn to lead your shot, all skill is taken away. Plus, hit scan weapons are universal, not Sniper exclusive. You have an infinite range, instant kill weapon. I mean, need I say more? Now, let's go ahead and talk about Sniper and his mechanics real quick. Well, when you zoom in, like whenever you scope in a Sniper, you don't even have to charge the rifle, which it has a charge meter, by the way, and the higher that charge, the more damage it does. You can instantly deal out 150 damage without even charging the rifle at all, and that instantly kills the majority of the class roster, alright? Medic has 150 health, Engineer 125, Sniper 125, Spy 125, Scout 125, what else? I feel like I'm missing one, but I don't know. But the majority of the class roster goes down with one click without even charging the rifle. Now, what is the obvious and clear solution to this? Well, make it to where the sniper actually has to charge his fucking rifle to get a headshot, which is what the devs themselves said is the entire point of the charge meter in the first place. In the developer commentary that's installed into literally every single version of the game, the developer commentary on the sniper literally fucking says that they implemented the charge meter for the sole purpose of preventing a sniper from instantly killing people. Just easily, instantly killing people. But they did not anticipate how easy sniper is to play. And of course, there's going to be those comp fags and those sniper fags. I don't fucking care. Sniper's easy to fucking play. Unless somebody's right up in your fucking face, sniper is extremely easy to fucking play. The only effective counter to sniper is another sniper. And you could say, you can just shoot at him with a hit scale weapon. It makes him flinch and it messes up his aim. No. I mean, yeah, sure, for a little bit that's going to work. But ultimately, there's no effective way to counter a sniper as any other class that is not a scout or sniper. But even then, a scout has to find a flank route to the sniper to kill the sniper. And you could say spy, but what spy in casual play is confident enough to somehow flank around the enemy team to get to the sniper? But that's besides the point. I'm not asking for like a damage nerf or I don't know, a clip size reduction. I'm literally just asking for the charge meter to be effective at preventing a sniper from dominating an entire server. Like literally, I'm not like, if you don't want to make it like where the minimum charge, like that 0 charge doesn't deal, under 150 or 125. Shit, to make it longer to charge or scope in, because the human reaction, and actually Jesus made a video about this, but the human reaction time, normal human reaction time is not fast enough to properly react to a sniper. Once you're in a sniper sight line, you are most likely, unless you're some kind of fucking superhuman, are not going to have enough reaction time to properly assess and react to the sniper that you have just now, as you moved into this sight line, you have just now noticed that there is a sniper there. You most likely do not have the reaction time to move. And then, of course, you get headshot. And then the obvious deflection of that is, well, just don't go in the sight line again. Don't go in the sight line. That's not how that fucking works, because if it's a payload map, tough fucking shit, you're in the sight line if you move towards that card at all. If it's like any other map, sure. If it's not like directly on the payload card, or I don't know, CTF or capture points or something like that, will capture points to a lesser extent, but it still means that he kind of locks down a point. But mainly payload is which is the most played game mode, mind you. I think maybe True Fort has more players, but that doesn't matter. Sniper shuts down on a payload map, right? And then you have the argument that, well, on other maps it doesn't matter. Well, if a sniper is playing offensively, there's not fucking shit you can do. You're going to be in his sight line no matter what. So, like you're going to be busy dealing with a sniper's team, and the sniper's going to just be a little bit behind his team sniping at you. There's not fucking shit you can do. There's nothing you can do except hope and pray to God that your spy or the one of your spies of the 5 that's on your team is competent enough to get behind the enemy team to go kill the sniper. But it's just, there's no effective means to counter a sniper unless you are a sniper. And you could say, you suck at the game, you suck at the game. I have over 1,500 hours on my current account. I think I have enough experience in the game to say that sniper needs some kind of fucking rework. And I'm not even asking for a hard nerf. Just something to where he can't quick-scope headshot people like snipers usually fucking do, which makes sniper unfun to play against. It's literally the quick-scope headshots that everybody fucking complains about. Nobody complains whenever you get hit by a full charge headshot. Nobody fucking complains about that, because at least then the sniper had to sit there and charge his fucking shot and time the shot just right. A quick-scope headshot is literally as simple as right-clicking to zoom in and then left-clicking on somebody's fucking head. It is not that fucking hard. Not to mention Sniper is the default class for cheaters. But then let's get on to Pyro. Pyro is not completely and utterly broken. I will say that immediately now. I do not think Pyro is overpowered. But I do think he needs some reworks, alright? Let's go with my biggest issue. Pyro is too disorientating to play against. His flame particles are very visually noisy and it makes it hard to see what the fuck you're doing. And then his mouse 2 option gives me fucking vertigo because he's bouncing me all around the fucking map. So I can't see what the fuck I'm doing. Not to mention his flamethrower itself has a direct damage output that is way too high to effectively fight against once he's on top of you. Now, that's fine. The simple argument, and usually the argument that comp fags, despite never having to fight Pyros because they're in fucking competitive mode and they don't allow specialists practically, their argument is, oh, well, just don't let the Pyro get close to you. But guess what the fuck the Pyro is? A flank and ambush class. If you're ambushed by a Pyro and he's on top of you, there's virtually nothing you can fucking do, especially if you're a projectile-based class. There's virtually nothing you can fucking do if the Pyro's already on top of you. Now, let's say that you had some distance from the Pyro. Then yeah, sure, there is some chance that you have to withstand the Pyro, right? Because by that point, the Pyro has to actively close the distance between you and him to effectively deal damage on you, or damage to you, alright? Sure, that's a fair argument, but if the Pyro's playing the way that the Pyro's meant to be played, there's nothing you can do. So it's just something that I noticed, that Pyro is hard to defend against once he's on top of you. The only request that I'd have is to make the flame particles less, I think opaque is the word, less, or I can't remember what the word is, but more see-through. I know there's a specific word for it, and I'm at a loss for words for it, but just being able to see through the fire would be massively helpful. That way I can see what I'm doing, and if there was reduced screen shaking whenever you're air blasted, I think would help a lot too. But unless you don't want to do it, I think less direct damage from a flamethrower would also be kind of helpful. That way, you know, you still stand a chance if you want to make Pyro this really visually annoying and visually and disrupting, disorientating class. If you want that to be his main shtick, sure. But there has to be some kind of fix to prevent a Pyro from dominating you once he's on top of you. And I think Pyro and Sniper are the perfect examples of what kind of balance I'd like. Not need or want, but I'd like for the game. Once you're in with most classes in the game, once you're fighting them, you stand some fundamental chance. Or if you're like a medic, you have a severe weakness anyways. There's always, most of the time, some way or some means that you can defend yourself from this class. But with Sniper and Pyro, once you're in their field, there's not much you can really do to effectively fight them off. Even if you do manage to fight off the Pyro, you're still going to be dealing with Afterburn, and you're going to get shit on anyways, because Afterburn fucking sucks. But once you're in a Sniper sightline, there's not much you can fucking do, and all you can do is really hope and pray that you get behind cover fast enough, or he misses his fucking shot. With Pyro, all you can hope to do is that he runs out of ammo, or that he, I don't fucking know, gets fucking deaded faster. There's not much you can effectively do once you're in these classes' elements, and that's my main issue with them, is that with every other class in the game, there is some means to fight them off once they're there. With Pyro and Sniper, once you're there, there's not much you can realistically do that's not going to result in your death. Do I want them hard nerfed? No. But I'd like to see some changes. But ultimately, this is a fucking half-hour long video. If you liked it, like, comment, and subscribe. If you hate me and my opinion, please tell me in the comments down below. Hopefully, I'll get some means to record on a computer soon. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.